Hey, what's up? This is Steven. You're watching Mochi Pop, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and there has been some interesting news. Is this a scandal? Is this nothing burger? Is this related to a member from HYBE labels TXT? After fourth TXT member show, clear signs of health concerns during tour. So HYBE is under fire, right? After 4 TXT members show clear signs of health concerns during a tour. That is interesting. So this is not surprising at all. Again, if you guys like this, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. And fans are demanding immediate measures, guys. Fans are demanding immediate measures. And what is going on here? So let's look at the article. Let me share my screen real quick. So the concern is the fans aren't happy. Let's put this. The fans aren't happy. This is no secret that K-pop members go through a lot of things during their tours and during their, even before they start, right? So they're already used to probably having not the best health situations. So HYBE under fire after 4 TXT members show clear signs of health concerns during the tour. Fans are demanding immediate measures. So this is a photo of them. They must notice something. HYBE's fourth generation boy group TXT is currently on the U.S. leg of their tour act Promise. And with each show, fans cannot help but get more concerned. Makes sense. They're a new country, new pressures. They probably did get a lot of sleep, lots of practices. So this is the Promise tour right here. Tomorrow's X Together World Tour, Act Promise in U.S. And these are all the places they're going. That's Tacoma, and there's Oakland, there's Los Angeles, California, of course, Houston, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, New York City, Rosemount, Illinois, I'm guessing, Washington, D.C. So that's a lot of places. So the arena is the Capitol Arena, Allstate Arena, Madison Square Garden, New York, obviously, State Farm Arena, Minute Maid Park, that's in Texas, Crypto.com Arena, that's Los Angeles, of course. That's when I went to with KCON. So that's pretty crazy. And so that's the tour. Actually, I'm curious to see when the tour is on. This is 2024. These are all, the Los Angeles is in May 21st, so that already happened. May 21st through 22nd. And if you guys are in Houston, Texas, that should be going on the 26th. And if you guys missed that, you can go to Atlanta, Georgia on the 29th if there's still tickets available, obviously. So probably not though. That's probably not gonna be. But yeah. So the TXT members, known for their stage presence and impeccable live vocals, have managed to deliver impressive performances for all the U.S. shows so far. However, MOA's TXT's fan base have not been able to enjoy it fully, as most of the members have shown signs of exhaustion and health problems. That sucks. You know, that's just the name of the game within the K-pop world. And it's going to be some risks. Kind of like when you play football or a sport, there's going to be injuries. You're going to be tired. You're going to be not in your. You have to be at your best when it counts. But afterwards, you feel like crap. You know what I mean? So, and hopefully you'll win, go to Disneyland and all that. But like, you're gonna feel like crap. So when you have poor health in the middle of the show, I think that's the issue. The issue isn't the fact that they're not feeling as well after the show, because usually you're out of it, you're tired, you're going to sleep, you want to maybe eat, I don't know, go to Disneyland. I'm just kidding, like the football players. But usually, you know, it's kind of normal to be tired after a show, right? Or even during like in between performances, which is why they have breaks. Sometimes the a member may perform by themselves, the next member, and the next member, and the next member, allowing some of the members to rest a little bit. Maybe some videos here and there on the screen in between the shows. So that's really how concerts are done, so the members won't be as tired. The question is, how much of that happened? Did they have their own solo song? So each of the members can rest a little bit. So whoever is prone to be the most tired, they can go with that scenario and maybe do one. Each member has their own little thing, and then they all come back together, and then they continue the concert. So that's a possibility. If they don't do that, then maybe that's why, or maybe they just have too many interviews, too many appearances. Maybe they're not resting enough in between practices and preparation. Maybe they're not getting enough sleep. Maybe they're not eating correctly. Maybe they're not eating the right foods that they need. Who knows? So I think this is definitely a big issue. I think HYBE has a lot of explaining to do. And so let me continue with this article here. Let's see. So number one, Subin, what that means? During the I think is Subin one of the members? During the tour's initial concerts in Seoul, fans noticed that Subin was visibly unwell. At one point, he even collapsed on stage mid-performance. MOAs were immediately concerned about his health, as they felt Subin was showing signs of exhaustion and being overworked. And it's usually the case, because these are healthy people, right? So they wouldn't like faint for no reason, right? So is a comment here, a quote from user Love Subi, right? So the quote, "I'm so effing scared about this, about Subin's health status as well as the other members. Write music. We don't need concerts. We don't need any dang concerts anymore. We only want them to rest. Let them rest. They are human. They are human. No, they're not. They're not human. They are products, and I say so." That's what HYBE says. I'm just kidding. So this is I think this is a video of one of them collapsing. I think. Yeah, so I'm guessing. Let's play the gig because I want to see what actually happened there. I think that's him collapse right there. Yeah, so it's like you practice so much to become good, and then that happens, and then it's kind of like, what's the point, right? What's the point of that? So yeah, I guess he was he sleeping? Like, what was he doing? I guess he kind of fainted, like maybe quite slightly standing up, and it's pretty crappy. So here's another comment here. It is concerning that we are 2 days to your and 2 days into your and on both days, I guess 2 days into the tour, I'm guessing, on both days, this has happened to Subin. That company need to be better. Please excuse the English grammar, whatever. Jeopardizing their health. Oh, sorry. Yeah, jeopardizing their health is not okay. Even when exhausted, they give their all. You're going to burn them out. Let them rest. So, and then that's one comment. So here's the second member of the four who have health issues, allegedly, right? So Hyuning Kai, the day after the group's concert in Oakland on May 18th, Hyuning Kai hosted a live stream where he talked about fainting right after the show. Though he mentioned it in a lighthearted manner, fans couldn't help but take it seriously. Yeah, so at least he fainted after the show, not during the show, right? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. So at least he fainted after the show and not during the show, because that would have ruined the concert and the HYBE labels would not have been happy, right? you have to please the HYBE label, God Kings, whatever, right? Because again, you don't want the fans to be concerned during the concert. You want the fans to be concerned after the concert, ideally speaking. But either way, it's kind of a cry for help that these guys need some rest. They've been very, very active. I've seen that just from looking over videos on YouTube and just seeing how much they're doing and the interviews and this and that. Who knows how many reality shows and variety shows they've been appearing on. So I can only imagine the appearing on variety shows, filming, cameras always on you, on the lights, on top of the work on the practicing and the concerts, choreographing everything, choreographing maybe those strings that go on your back and you fly up in the air and all that stuff. What they call it, the bungee cords. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do during concerts as well. And I'm sure even the light people and the people who orchestrate the concerts are very tired as well because they have to be perfect and time everything perfectly. I've done that myself on stages. It's just me. You know what I mean? And you have to create like these timed things, even timed lyrics, the timing on the songs. And then the lights have to be at a certain way. You have to time everything. There's ways to do it by yourself, but if you have a team, it's much easier. But even with that, it's difficult, right? So I think they could probably use a break here. Back to the article. TXT. So there's a quote. As soon as the concert ended, I fainted and woke up right away. Ikum. How can you say that so casually and cutely? So that's one of the quotes, I guess, from maybe an interview. So does anyone? So here's another quote from a user on Twitter, satire, at Zombiastism. Does anyone else feel like they are mentioning things like this more and more often, almost as if someone upstairs doesn't listen to them when they complain in private? So HYBE labels, right? They're pretty. For overall, I haven't had too many complaints about HYBE labels, but I think all the labels are guilty of this, overworking their idols to the point where they're not even functional, barely functional. I can't say they did the same thing with Blackpink at YG, because I don't think they're doing enough for Blackpink and YG, so who knows. But they're probably touring a lot. They toured in LA. They're so busy. They just weren't creating enough albums. But for TXT, they're probably doing a little bit of both. Plus, they're really popular in the U.S., especially nowadays, because K-pop wasn't like the way it was 10 years ago even. K-pop has completely exploded since 2017 when BTS went to that award ceremony and performed. And even before that, the reason why they even got there is because, they built a following over time since 2013. So TXT is probably similar in that way. So the next one, Taehyung also talked about the harsh conditions he endured while preparing for the tour in a recent REVEIWS Live. I think REVEIWS is that kind of where you interact with celebrities, you see the lives, stuff like that. So his group mate, Youngjun, added that Taehyung had to preserve through a 39-degree fever to practice for the shows. So you have to basically practice to the fever. And I'll say this. That is such a normal thing. You guys have no idea. Like, I can't count how many times I've had this a cold or this or that during the most important situations or the important trips or whatever I've done. And I was in a dance group back in, I'm not going to tell you the year because that'll date me a little bit. I'm just kidding. But it was a long time ago, right? I had a very bad cold that day, literally the day of the performance. It was a dance performance. So dancing is literally the most, next to swimming and playing sports, maybe basketball, football, is one of the most active things you could do. Maybe table tennis. I don't know. But it's one of the most active things you can do in terms of cardio outside of running at full speed, right? So I'll say having a cold and it's really bad and you feel like you want to faint during not only practice but performances. I've experienced that, and it's extremely difficult when you're dancing. But you have to get over it, right? You have to kind of like you have to like kind of forget about the quote for a second, and then afterwards you feel like crap. So during the performance, you just muster up everything in your body. You feel like your body's not going to make it at times before the performance starts, and then it just kind of just you do it, you're good, and then you fall out. I didn't fall out or anything, but I feel like I wanted to. And it's really, 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 really scary sometimes, especially if it's a fever. And I probably had a little bit of fever. Who knows? But it's a 39-degree whatever fever or Celsius, whatever. That's pretty bad. That's even worse. Plus, you're doing a whole concert, like on top of that, or doing maybe a whole practice session. That's not easy. You gotta do it. You better do it because HYBE labels need you to do it. HYBE labels need you to show up, no matter how you feel. And that's kind of what you have to accept when you're an idol. You have to be willing to risk your life sometimes, just like in sports, just like anything. You have to study 24 hours a day, exaggerating a little bit, but, to become, like I said, a medical doctor or be the best first in your class. And even then, depending on how your brain works, not everybody's brain works the same. So you have to always kind of push your limits and go over your limits and this will have to become your new normal. It's called the new normal. You work like a dog even when you feel like you're dying. And that's will be the new normal for anyone at the highest level of entertainment, production, education, whatever you want. And not everybody has done that. It's not about how your IQ is, how naturally smart you are. It's really about, at the end of the day, how hard you work and how are you willing to get 3 hours of sleep or 2 hours of sleep every day? Yeah. Because I'm in that situation right now. I'm just saying, guys. People are like, oh, make sure you get your sleep. People don't have that. A lot of people don't have that type of option, especially if they want to make it. If they're working a part-time job and they're going to school and they want to be an idol and they have to drop out of school to become an idol, they got in the idol war. You got to pick one sometimes. Sometimes you got to pick one. If you can get to college really fast, if you're just really smart and you got to college at age 15 or something, and then you graduate at age 18 and you barely made it to the idol audition, and then you're so good because you didn't get any sleep, and then somehow you made it to New Jeans or something, right? And then or you TXT or whatever, and now you get less sleep, because you already, but that's already been your new normal because you've already worked hard to get there. And I think these TXT members understand that. I think they do. They mention it, and they're kind of crying for help, but at the end of the day, they know what they got themselves into. And I think I don't think most people feel that sorry for them per se, but I think the actual fans who care about them because they're fans are concerned about the treatment that HYBE is giving them. And I'm also concerned just as a person who can kind of relate to it on some level. And I'm sure many people can, but again, at the end of the day, it's kind of the name of the game, and like what people say about business, it's just something you have to deal with. It's something you just have to deal with, unfortunately. So, moving on to the article here, continuing from the 39-degree fever practice for the shows, right? So here's a comment, TXT's archive, quote, I couldn't sing until the day before the rehearsal. I guess this is from him. I'm supposed to be a singer, so during the time I couldn't sing, I was so upset. I've been so sad, depressed, and frustrated while preparing that I cried once at night. I cried alone in my room. There was no sound. Here's another quote. It's going to be opening up on Twitter, so hopefully Twitter doesn't have any videos. But let's see, no sound. Let's see, there's more of this. So there is no sound, just tears flowing. In my mind, crying should come with sound, but there was no sound, just tears flowing. So yeah, that's crazy. That's that sucks, and that's life. Life is hard, even for idols. You know what I mean? People think idols are rich and they have everything, but at the end of the day, it does come with a price. Just being famous comes with a price. And I've always understood that to a degree, right? But unless you experience it, you won't really know like the pressures from your fans, uh, the pressures from your hype labels or whoever is above you to meet the standards that they want. The pressures from your parents, if you're in education, especially if you're Asian, it's a big deal. So I think the Asian culture in general is already understand the pressures of things. But I think when it comes to the physical and not getting really physically physical practice on top of not getting sleep is even worse in a way. I personally prefer being physical because I know it's healthy. But when you have a 39-degree fever, and you're doing physical activities, that's definitely very very scary. It happened to Kobe Bryant, even it happened to Kobe Bryant, and I think he had like some type of fever or cold, and he pushed through the game, and he's that type of person. I think at the end of the day, TXT is not alone. I'm sure many people can relate to that, and they just push through, even if it at the end of the day is risking their lives. Um, so yeah, and the fourth one, Byung-gu. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, let me know. All right, I apologize. But Byung-gu, during the LA concert on the May 21st, not long ago, it's not long ago from this article, less than a week ago, right? Byung-gu suddenly suffered a nosebleed. Wow. A nosebleed and had to leave the stage to get fixed. Since one of the causes of nosebleeds can be stress, fans are worried that it is a sign that Byung-gu is also suffering from exhaustion like the rest of his members. So, yeah, nosebleeds. I think that's actually more normal for some odd reason. I always see it in Asian when I watch Asian dramas or something like that. You would see like in the Japan and Korea, and you see them like the nose is bleeding because they're tired or they get overwork or whatever. Maybe their health's not the best. Well, it's always a nosebleed for some reason. At first, I thought it was just some perverted thing they did in anime, but now I'm realizing it's probably some type of a pressure or something happening with the sinuses or something, a blood vessel. And I've had situations where my nose was bleeding too, but not as much. It's really more like just me maybe, I don't know, blowing my nose too much or something like that. But nosebleeds are caused by, I think, probably multiple things, and it could be yeah, I'm not like I said, I'm not sure if it's related to being Asian or it's just related because I don't see a lot of American shows having people having nosebleeds. Maybe I just missed it. Maybe I'm watching those shows, but it seems like it's always an Asian thing that when I see it on like a TV show and their like nose is bleeding because they're tired or something like that. So who knows? Or maybe they're more prone to it. That's a possibility. But I always thought that was interesting. Moving on to the article here. So yeah, that's the comment. Comment of Boom Goo got nosebleed. Please, MOA, be loud. Don't be silent and trending the tags. Right, treat TXT better. What's that? Big hit, TXT better. Big hit, stop mistreating TXT. So I guess he was on stage right here during the nosebleed incident. And they're all chanting. Yeah, his nose is bleeding and he's like talking and chanting. And he's kind of walking up on a stage, and he's trying his best. Listen, like he's trying his best, right? he's doing what he has to do in order to try his best. So I'm not. Listen, nobody's upset. And they're upset at HYBE. They're not upset at him. I'm not upset at him. I respect him for trying, and that's what matters at the end of the day. And fans know you're working hard, but at the same time they're concerned for your health. they're concerned for you because you work hard, because you're willing to sacrifice us for your fans and for your career. Here's another comment. Oh no, Bongu got nosebleed. Crying face. We can effing fight me. I said they gotta take care of my boys, not make them overwork themselves and risk their health. Give them a effing break. Gru, we don't deserve you. Please have a good rest and don't overwork yourself. These fans are funny. Okay, so continuing, fans feel that HYBE has failed to protect the TXT members, as 4 out of 5 of them, because Youngjoon's the strongest, of course. Youngjoon is still coming out strong, even after his complaints about the girl members being more accepted than guy members. But at the end of the day, Youngjoon came out on top. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so hey, 4 out of 5 TXT members signs of health show signs of health issues, probably due to exhaustion or grueling schedules. Same thing. While disturbing MOAs are calling for the company to treat TXT better. Many feel that their calls are not reaching HYBE. Of course they're not. HYBE is the god label. Okay, I'm just kidding. Or that the company is willfully ignoring them because fans' anger is not meddling with their profits as of yet. Because again, it's a kind of a tricky situation with the fans, because the fans know if HYBE labels gets them the rest, they won't release as much material. They may not get as much concerts that they want, and then the HYBE sales go down. HYBE wants to make money. TXT may be forgotten. So I think that's a possibility. TXT, because keep in mind, TXT cannot waste time. They're competing with the best of the best groups out there. They're competing with the boys. Yeah, they're competing with Stray Kids. They were already competing with BTS, probably, right? Before they kind of taking a break. And they're competing with even the girl groups in a way, right? As TXT's Youngjoon said last year about girl groups being more accepted and more, I guess, more relevant in a way than guy groups. Overall, they have to compete with that. So TXT has to, in terms of profit from HYBE's perspective, if TXT isn't as relevant as, let's say, Baby Monsters in the near future, right? They have to get milk as much money from that group from a business perspective as possible. So HYBE probably doesn't care much about their health, but they should care about their health in the long run, because they want TXT to last as long as possible. So I think they may need to schedule some vacations after their tour, and maybe they should tour maybe 3 times a year max. It's because this is a U.S. tour and this is an Asian tour, right? I think the Asia tour should just be either, let's say, Japan or Korea, maybe both. They could split it in like a 2-week period, but maybe 2 months at a time. Like, let's say 1 month, and then they have the Korea tour, and then another 2 or 3 months they have the Japanese tour, right? And then maybe 3 months after that they have the Philippines, right? Now they have the U.S. tour, right? Going all through a lot of the big states out there. So I think they just need to maybe, and in terms of the practicing, that's in between the tours, so we don't know what their schedule is like there. On top of the interviews, variety show appearances, they have to kind of cut that down a little bit. Now, I will give YG a little credit for not having Blackpink out as much as, let's say, maybe HYBE would do it. I'm guessing they didn't do as much variety shows as HYBE label artists. I'm guessing because their exclusivity style. I would think they won't make as many appearances as they would have if they were at HYBE labels. And I'm sure Blackpink themselves probably thought about it and like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? We're not tiring ourselves out as much as some of the other groups. But in terms of the album productions, come on, guys. YG, come on. So back to HYBE labels, though. HYBE just wants to milk as much money as possible from them. So it makes sense that TXT is in this situation. And they're probably one of the hardest workers at HYBE labels based on what I'm seeing right now. Because like I said, boy groups have to work twice as hard as girl groups, just because most guys are not into boy bands at all for the most part. I could be wrong about the Korean guys, but like at least the US guys, we're not as interested in guy groups. We would probably more be interested in either really, really good solo artists that just really is good at dancing and performing like Michael Jackson would have been, or we would be interested in maybe more of the rap scene or something a little bit more hip hop, maybe Zico, something like that. If we just like the music, the style, maybe like a DJ, specific DJ. And if the girl groups all around, right? Guys would be more interested. So that's why girl groups have the advantage, and TXT has to work probably 4 times as hard as the girl groups, because, and they're competing with BTS, The Boys, Stray Kids. Zero Base One dominated last year. I'm not sure how they're doing this year. Comment below. But Zero Base One is they're competing with them now. There's not as many guy groups coming out either. So again, TXT I think they're 4th generation guy group. The girl groups that are at 7th generation. So they're not even coming out as much as the girl groups. So they have to work hard and toe the line for the next people coming up. And they don't want the competition, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, if they're the only ones around, they're going to be working twice or 3 times, 4 times as hard, because that's just the nature of the business. And if HYBE labels doesn't have as many groups as another company, maybe that's why they are struggling to kind of get them on a really tight schedule, because they want TXT to be everywhere. TXT is huge. So they have to be everywhere. They have to milk a huge group like that. If it was Big Bang or something else, it would have been the same with YG. I'm not sure if Big Bang was as exclusive. Maybe they were. I'm not sure when they started that. I guess it was with Big Bang, with YG. But TXT is probably in a similar situation, except HYBE labels is willing to go all the way and releasing albums, going on the tours, being less exclusive, so they can have access. The fans can have access to them. And they can pay for the concerts, pay for the merch, get online, go to variety shows, be always relevant in your face, so we can market and milk as much money as humanly possible until the members faint or die. That's HYBE label in a nutshell, probably, as a company, right? I'm not saying that executives there don't care about the group members at all. I'm sure New Jeans has a tight schedule too. But I'm almost positive it's not as tight as TXT's schedule right now, at the very least. But when you're starting, it gets grueling. I get it. So I'm sure New Jeans is probably struggling in some way, and they're competing with Baby Monsters, and then you have TXT competing with everybody. So again, at the end of the day, if you have multiple groups competing within the same company, then at the end of the day, HYBE labels or those types of production companies, labels, win at the end of the day. They win at the end of the day because they have multiple group members competing with each other, but they're getting all the money at the end of the day. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So if you guys like that, if you guys are concerned about them, hey, shout out, say, hey, go on the internet like everybody else and say, hey, TXT, the health is not good. Well, HYBE labels, what are you doing? So go online, let them know. Like, hey, we don't like the way you guys treating your members. How's New Jeans doing? The young girls, how are they doing? Talk about them too. Make it a thing about not just about TXT, but all the members, and maybe they can figure out how to manage the hate that are coming from the fans, because they don't hate TXT, they hate you guys right now. You don't want TXT to leave, right? Maybe they go to YG to get less of a schedule. They go to YG to get less of a schedule, less album releases, right? Then we're exclusive. That's why. So if you guys like that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and we will be back for more. Until next time, peace.